Beer. Beer. Bong. Bong. Bong.
Battle
Beer.
axe.
Bong. Bong. Bong.
Battle axe.
Beer. Bong. Bong. Bong.
Battle axe.
Beers, bongs, and battle axes. Beers, bongs, and battle axes.
Battle axe.
Beers, bongs, and battle axes.
Battle axe.
Beers, bongs, and battle axes.
But now we are. Hey, folks. Welcome to another Beers, Bongs, Battle Axes.
Goodness sakes.
I'll be your host, Mike.
I'd be the other guy, Tyler.
And this is gonna be a weird podcast today because we don't have no bongs, we don't have no beers, and we don't have any battle axes. We're dry, man. We're completely dry.
I know that upsets a lot of you.
It upsets us.
I know, right?
Ugh, so, Tyler, what are we talking about today? You're taking the charge on this one.
Yeah, this one I came out of left field for me, but I was like, well, it'd be cool to talk about. I wanted to talk about like the Warner Brothers and Legendary movies, MonsterVerse involving Godzilla and now King Kong and all that stuff. Because that's my movies, man. That's my Star Wars.
That's fair. That's very fair.
So, and just as we were talking, the idea for this podcast actually stemmed from seeing Dr. Sleep and how they were planning on doing sequels and stuff, which I think got canned because of how his performance is doing. So then I was like, but as you were saying, this is my thought process, like, why does everybody and their mother try and do a shared universe like these days?
Because that's
Like,
the Hollywood machine, sadly.
it is.
They saw Marvel do it and make all the money in the world.
And that's honestly what kills me. It's just like that took 10 years to set up.
Right. Nobody has the patience to do it the way Marvel did it.
Right. No. And you just want to get on that cash cow, that moo cow.
It's real sad. I mean, look at how many failures there have been. DC completely shot themselves in the foot fucking doing that.
And they're weirdly, in a good way, soft rebooting themselves. Because
Yeah,
like with
they're turning
Shazam
out
and
better.
Aquaman, like, those technically took place after Justice League, but it was never mentioned or anything, and they're just, I don't know, I kind of like what they're doing with that. They're like, yeah, we fucked up, we'll try better.
We'll do better, we promise. But yeah, I like where DC's headed lately. Because I haven't seen Aquaman yet, but I really enjoyed Shazam.
Shazam
It was nice to see a
sleeper
fucking
hit for sure.
DC movie with a sense of goddamn humor.
Yeah, exactly.
DC is still king in the animation department, though.
Oh yeah, that
Like, anytime a new DC animated film comes out, I'm like, buy mine.
those are the best Justice League movies I've ever seen. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I would say and I never got into the show, sadly. Like, I don't know why.
It's really good, especially if you were a fan of Batman the Animated Series back
And I
in the
was,
day.
but then I was like, I don't know why. I was so turned off by it. I guess
Maybe
I
it was
thought
the
it would
Hawk
be
people,
maybe?
because that's kind of like a weird C-lister,
No.
like Hawkwoman and stuff. Like, how did you get into the Justice League? You
right.
got wings and a mace.
That guy's a bat, yeah, but
He's got
cool
all the
shit.
money, and he's got the best villains.
He's funding this.
You see this space tower we have? His money. We're all broke. Superman works as a reporter.
Yes. Yes. Who else did it? I know Universal tried starting a dark universe.
With Tom fucking Cruise.
Yeah, not a
and-
good way to go about it. But speaking of, he's grown on me these past few years. I know he's still batshit Scientology insane, but he's just been cool in
I
these movies.
appreciate the man for his commitment to his roles. Like, I always go back to, you want to see peak Tom Cruise, Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
That shows a man who does have a sense of humor and can do more than just be the good-looking action hero.
Yeah, and I just watched Mission Impossible Fallout recently
Is that the newest one?
with Henry Cavill.
Oh,
the reason why
I have yet to see
Superman
that.
has a shit mustache or CGI mouth in Justice League, and that movie was far superior to Justice League. So no, it was just really good. It was really fucking good. I recommend it.
You know what I wish would just die already?
Huh?
All these release the Snyder cuts. Because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, what, a year and a half later now, and I just saw an article on Google the other day. Gal Gadot says, release the Snyder cut. I was
And-
like, you guys saw Man of Steel, right? Like, even if we get a version that's 100% what Zack Snyder wanted, it's not gonna be good.
Right, right.
It's not.
Who else? I think Jason Momoa, Aquaman, he was saying release it and stuff. And
Ben Affleck's like, I'm just glad I'm out of that shit show. I'm back in rehab.
they did Batman dirty in that movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, they turned him into a fucking joke, and I hate it.
Yeah, that might have been my least favorite part of
He's
the
like,
entire
"Oh."
movie.
I'm bleeding. I'm definitely bleeding.
It's like, that's not Batman.
Who are you?
Which sucks because of how, like, nail on the head they were with Batman and Batman versus Superman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he is the only redeeming quality of that particular
I'll defend
film.
that to this day. I would love a Batman movie with Batfleck. Solely just on that scene where he's saving Martha. That's
just that's the Batman I always pictured from playing the video games, from watching the cartoon, from reading the comics.
Yeah.
He's mobile, he's agile, he whoops some ass.
And he doesn't kill, though. Even though a couple of those guys in that fight scene are dead.
Definitely dead. I mean, let's face it, every film incarnation of Batman, except for Batman 66, has killed people.
Yeah.
I mean, for Christ's sake, in Batman Returns, Michael Keaton Batman hands a bomb to a guy and then pushes him down a manhole.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Well, that Batman certainly could.
It would have been
Hey,
fucking
big
funny.
clown man.
Would have been funny if he said that.
Oh, that would have been great, but I don't know.
Michael Keaton-y. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
That would have been fantastic. So,
Anyway, sorry.
since you've actually seen Godzilla King of the Monsters,
Yes.
like, do you feel like they're going about it properly of setting up a shared universe?
And this is a whole back to I think people are rushing because when Gareth Edwards,
He did the first Godzilla.
he did the first
remake,
Godzilla,
right?
and it was a slow burn Jaws type movie where you didn't see Godzilla, and I clocked it. It's 55 minutes in the movie where you first see Godzilla, and then he's in it for like 11 minutes total, which is fine because that's about the average for the old school Godzilla movies too. Like,
Really?
yeah, he's not in it. Like, he doesn't get a lot of screen time.
Not until the later ones, right, where they started getting a little wacky, like
Yeah.
Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla and all this shit.
Yeah, but some of those are boss. And I don't know if their intention was to start up the MonsterVerse.
Or if it was just successful enough that they were
Right.
like, methinks we have an idea.
Right, because Kong came out in 2017. And in all honesty, I think that's the superior movie. As much as I fucking love Godzilla, like, they did a lot of things right in Kong. It wasn't great it wasn't a Citizen Kane by any means.
But it took place during the day, which was my big thing about
yes,
it.
the CGI, you could see Kong in the day. Every fight took place in the day. It was smooth. I loved it.
And I also found the human characters to be more interesting in Kong Skull Island than
Well, it's because you got higher quality talent.
Quicksilver in Godzilla. Well, I think they botched that whole thing because, honestly, with what they have Quicksilver doing in that movie, Bryan Cranston could have easily done that because he was the nuclear scientist.
He stole
and shit like that.
Everybody honestly thought it was going to be a Bryan Cranston movie, like him trying to figure out the origins of Godzilla, and that's my biggest issue with the first movie because if you go back to the 2012 Comic-Con trailer, I think it was nothing but a big dead fucking monster. It was was it Dwight D. Eisenhower's speech about the nuclear bomb?
Yes.
Like, that's playing over the trailer. And there's this big dead thing laying in this city, and it's just Godzilla in the smoke, and he turns and roars, and that's it. And you think it's going to be like this big apocalypse-style movie, and instead, it's... Godzilla, I like it better when he's the bad guy. Don't get me wrong, I like it when he's fighting other monsters and stuff, but when Ken Watanabe's character, who plays Dr. Serizawa, who is actually is a reference to the original Serizawa from the first movie, who killed Godzilla with the oxygen destroyer.
Whoa.
So I like they're out there going with he's a fan of Godzilla instead of we have to get rid of this big fucking thing.
It's like, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
Also, we're not going to kill that.
No, he's my best friend.
Let them fight.
But that's my issue. It's like, it's all exposition, like Godzilla's a savior of mankind. I kind of would have liked it better if it was just either the apocalypse style movie where it's just the military versus Godzilla, and then a slow build up to, maybe this dude isn't that bad. He just fucking, he's here to rid the earth of shit. Instead of the exposition that he spills is or that let them fight shit. And I don't know. They already made him the anti-hero instead of building up to it.
That's fair. Like, yeah, he should have been just terrorizing the town in the first one.
Yeah.
And so that way we'd be like, oh my god, he's a monster. And then when other monsters come and Godzilla whoops their ass, then we're like, maybe he's not so bad.
All right, maybe it's just us two are the assholes. And so that's my issue with the first one. And then going into the second one, they did a lot right and a lot wrong.
What did they do right about it?
Right about it, well, the monsters themselves. Like, they're just...
And who was the whole stable for that? I know Mothra.
It was Mothra,
Ghidorah,
King Ghidorah, and Rodan.
And
17, well, a few other ones that they're...
they're like mentioned in passing?
Yeah, because they don't have the rights to... They only have the rights to those 4, Godzilla included.
How? I thought...
From Toho.
I thought Toho owned all of them, or is that the ones Toho was willing to let them use?
Because they were skeptical, they didn't want it to bomb, I guess. I'm paraphrasing, but at the same time, it's like, have you seen your last movies, Toho? Have you?
Have they not been good?
Not really. I mean, Shin Godzilla was...
That was weird,
passable,
though.
but that didn't feel like a Godzilla movie.
No,
that
because they
like
changed like the fundamental aspect of what Godzilla was for that.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. I liked the design, that's the Apocalypse movie I was talking. Like, he levels a whole fucking city in one go, which is awesome, but...
Well, shit.
He looked retarded. I didn't like the design at all.
That's fair.
Where was I going with that? So they had, so they gave him, which is funny, because I forgot to mention it in the It podcast, is, you said they didn't have the rights to Rodan, and then I thought about it, I was like, they fucking do have the rights to Rodan, because Warner Brothers owns, they could have put,
Bastards. God
like,
damn, I would have loved to see
that scene.
Bitches.
Bunch of bitches.
I wonder if they ever, like, approached Toho for that, and Toho was like, we don't want a pterodactyl in a Stephen King movie. That is stupid.
It makes no sense. Put it in a volcano and walk away from me. And visually, like, the cinematographer, I can't remember his name, but he did Joker, too.
Oh.
He did a lot of the shots, like, just the cinematography in that movie was just gorgeous.
Doesn't that suffer from the same problem as the other one, though, with, like, the fight scenes it's raining?
It's obscured a lot, yeah. There's smoke, rain, water. There is literally a fight, which is fucking awesome, where Godzilla jumps out of the water and grabs King Ghidorah, but then it happens all underwater, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? That is the most Michael Bay scene in the entire fucking movie, and I'm kind of bummed about it.
Bitches.
Yeah. But they got right Ghidorah's origin of him being an alien, which is cool. It's just, again, like Ken Watanabe's character, just exposition out the ass from everyone. Like, there's a new character, I can't remember her name, but she's a Chinese scientist, and, or is she Japanese? Don't judge me, Jerry.
I think he's laughing at the...
I was laughing at you.
I tried to stick up for him.
No, she is Japanese, because her and her twin sister are homage to the twins from the Mothra movies.
Oh.
Yeah. She just blurts nothing but exposition throughout the entire movie. Like, a situation happens, she's like, boom, she's got the answer for it. Like
how do you know all this?
There's no suspense, there's no, like, you can't get 1 minute of, like, what's happening next, and she'll pop in the corner like, this is what's happening. Like, damn it.
Thanks. Thanks for that.
And, but hey, and what are you gonna do? But that's what I also like about it, because it plays a lot like the 90s era Godzilla movies, of where it's just campy, almost Power Rangers-esque. Like,
oh yeah, where it's 80% man in rubber suit fighting in a miniature town.
Yes, and the characters themselves, they play like
they're just
parodies. Yeah, but they're all good, and I liked them. The talent was there. So, but then it quickly takes a left turn, and I know that's everybody's biggest complaint was Vera Farmiga. Is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
Her
From
character.
The Conjuring.
She just goes, and it's a trope that everybody's doing these days. Is like, basically humanity's a plague, and we got to be eradicated. Like, we're destroying this earth.
Well, they're not wrong.
Yeah, but I get it. We all get it. But does that have to be the focal point of every fucking movie today? Like,
no.
Every bad guy's motivation is like, we're just assholes. We gotta go. We gotta start fresh. It's like, okay, Thanos did it better though. Like,
No rhyme or reason, just half the population gone.
just batshit crazy. He's the Mad Titan. Fuck it. Didn't matter if it didn't make sense. It made sense to him, and that's what made him such a likable villain. So
The craziest villains are the ones who think they're right.
exactly. I've heard that before. I just don't remember from where.
It's from something, I don't know. It certainly was an original thought I had.
And this is my biggest issue because if you went in both these movies blind and Kong, you would have no idea that they're building up to King Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong. That's the name of the movie. And it's because there's nothing. They show Kong for a split second in a computer program, and they mention Skull Island, but nothing in that movie is ever indicated that these two are going to fight. So unless you're on the internet a lot like I am, waiting for a trailer to drop,
It's like, give me something!
like you wouldn't know that movie was coming, which is such a bummer because the original was
Bullshit.
bullshit. It was bullshit, and it was just zany. It was like
It was zany, but
like,
King Kong electric powers, go!
that's zany part 1. Zany part 2 is the fact Godzilla's a dead-eyed fucking soulless clapping thing. Like, I don't understand why they made him do that. It's so...
Do you think that was just the Americans being like, ha ha, our monster's better than yours?
I want to say yes. And, yeah, that movie's such a trip, but you can't help it to love it because it's King Kong and Godzilla. But the production was awful.
Was that an American-made one, or was that a Japanese company that did
It was Japanese. It was all Toho. And people would argue, like, oh, there's a Japanese and an American version, but there's not. No one's ever seen the Japanese version.
It's
like,
the Mandela effect.
It could be, yeah. Because
I'm sure
there's-
the Japanese version is just that movie without the dub.
that's basically it. I think Kong still wins in both versions. So, but there's people are saying that there's a version where Godzilla wins, and I've never seen it. I can't find it anywhere.
Lying bastards.
Yeah, so. But you'd think even back in the day, I think that was like 63, like Kong's design is horrendous. It is
Just a dude in a felt suit.
It's not even. I think they whipped that suit up in like 2 days. I don't know. Like it's bad. He looks disgusting. Like it's almost uneasy when you look at him. You're like, don't look the monkey in the eye. You're gonna haunt my dreams.
Daddy, I'm scared.
So when they announced it officially, I was like, yes, this is the time. This is the time. But then they announced hold on, I need to pull up that guy.
Have they given away many plot details? What it's going to be about?
None. Some are speculating that it's going to take place between Kong and the first Godzilla, so they'll have fought before, and this is going to be a rematch. But a lot of people are just because this movie is all about alphas and the king of the monsters, basically, because Ghidorah awakens all the monsters
Right.
as the new alpha, and that's just it's going to be speculated that Kong is going to vie for that title or something and fight Godzilla to be the alpha. Which, have you seen the promo pictures?
Mm-mm.
It's pretty cool because Kong has a full blown beard now, so I'm like, this could be he's an aged ape.
That sounds dope.
Old man beard.
So are we hoping that it's just going to be a fight to the death between the two, or are we hoping they're going to go some wacky route like Mecha Ghidorah shows up and they have to team up to whoop his ass?
They could be doing that. I'm honestly hoping for Destroya because they use the oxygen destroy. See, I don't want to spoil it because you haven't seen it, but it happens. That's another thing where they're like, we have this weapon. It's called the oxygen destroyer. We're going to use it. Like that's as quickly as that happens. And like, oh, okay. Yeah, and in the original movie, the oxygen destroyer is built up, and it actually does kill Godzilla. And it's just like this whole. But literally, it
That's
just
how
comes
they
out of
defeat
so
Godzilla
left
in the
field.
new one, though?
No, that's not how they do it.
Oh, okay.
They kick the shit out of him. Like it almost kills him, but he doesn't die. And then, but the oxygen destroyer was used to create Destroya, which is basically basically the monster that killed Godzilla in the 90s.
Oh, no.
I mean, he still whooped his ass. Like Godzilla beat him, but he was so weakened, and he was already having a nuclear meltdown.
So he basically pulled a Thor. He's like, I vanquished my foe, And now I die.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, that was it. And but Destroyer was badass. He's like a big old demonic fucking dragon. But he's like starts off as like these little crab things.
He's crab people?
Yes.
Crab people. Crab people.
And I think that concept could be cool because a lot of those monsters, like a lot of the Destroyer things were not bigger. They were about the size of a bear. Like, so it could be cool to have like the military fighting those little bastards.
While Godzilla's doing his thing.
And have humans actually contribute instead of just sitting there like, hey, we'll help him. No, we did nothing. Like,
exposition.
Yeah, right. So I think if they would fight for a little bit and then Destroyer show up, that would be cool. But who knows what route they would take. If they actually kill one of them, I would be really surprised. But
why kill him when you can keep making money off the franchise?
Exactly. But I just would be curious if one of the guys or the director had the balls to be like, you know what? No, someone's actually going to lose this fight. I'd be like, okay. Fair enough.
Do you think these? I want these to be I want these to be successful.
Yeah.
Because I want them to get to a point where we're getting an Americanized version of Mechagodzilla. Because I want to see that fight.
That technically already happened in Ready Player One.
That doesn't count.
It doesn't, but they designed that Mechagodzilla after the new Godzilla.
Oh.
So that's...
Did it look dope?
It did, kind of. When I first saw it, I thought it was a Dragon Zord, honestly. I was like, yay! Oh, wait, it's Mechagodzilla? Like,
with rocket hands.
Yeah. But they made him look cool, but it was definitely after the design from the Gareth Edwards Godzilla, so...
It seems like that would be a really ineffective robot because the new Godzilla is like so big that I imagine a machine version of it kind of like just slow and lumbering.
Yeah. But hey, who am I? I'm not a designer or anything.
But you could be.
And then that's I forgot where I was going with my rant. Fuck it.
We were talking about how we'd be shocked if somebody actually died in this movie.
Yeah, and that's who I was looking at. It was Adam Wingard is the director of Kong vs. Godzilla.
Who the fuck is that?
This is where I'm a little weary. Was he a director on that one? Let me see, filmography. So he was the director of You're Next, which I really did like.
You're Next.
That was that movie with the family in the cabin who just starts getting picked off by the dudes in animal masks.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty good. I liked it. But he is also the director of the new Blair Witch and the Death Note adaptation.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That does not bode well.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, the new Blair Witch was okay. It was better than what they've been trying to push out.
But the only thing the original Blair Witch ever had for it was how well they sold it to people as, this is absolutely real.
Yes, yeah.
And ever since then, you're just like,
yeah.
It's found footage. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. It is, yeah. Who does give a shit? And that movie was, like I said, it was passable. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it's nothing new. And that's what I'm worried about. Like, I don't want this movie to be cut and dry. Like, a left field, like something like that happening would be awesome. But, I don't know.
Well, we can only keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, basically.
Do they have any other Godzilla or Kong movies announced?
That's what I'm not sure of. Not yet, no.
That'd be cool if we got an American Mothra film or a Rodan film or even... What's the giant turtle that's not Toho?
Oh, Gamera.
Gamera.
Gamera I fully enjoy too. Like, Gamera's badass. But, yeah, he's not owned by Toho. I don't know who the fuck he's owned by. But which would be cool because he's another Godzilla-esque character that's
Did they ever cross over with Gamera or no? Because it was two different companies.
They never ever did. And people have been wanting it for ever.
Decades.
Yeah. And speaking of Rodan, that's my second favorite part about this movie. Just the design of it. Like, he has one of the coolest scenes in the entire fucking movie. And even the director said that he was, I can't remember his name either, but he did Krampus. Which,
that was a great fucking film.
Which really shows in Godzilla because he does nail, like, just the feel and the monsters. And, like, I liked Krampus a lot. That was a good movie. But, he even said in an interview that Rodan was his favorite character. Like, he's always been second fiddle to Godzilla, and, like, he does make him badass in this movie.
Hell yeah.
But
Is that streaming anywhere right now? Because I would sure like to see it.
I'm not sure. I own it, so not on. It's on my Xbox, but
Lucky bastard.
well, I had to. I had to watch it like 5 times
That's fair.
just to be like, do I really like this movie? And yeah, I fucking love that movie.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's just where I'm at. I love
like
Godzilla.
that. And since we're on the topic of shared universes, I'm honestly kind of surprised nobody's tried to make a Stephen King shared universe yet.
I shit you not. I was half expecting there to be a Dark Tower reference at the end of Doctor Sleep.
There's a Dark Tower reference in there.
I mean, like, just Pennywise showing up. I want to talk to you about the Dark Tower Initiative.
That would be weird. That's not quite how that
One
works.
of those things, which, you've been telling me, like, how long have we been doing this podcast? I don't know, but every time we talk about Stephen King, I'm like, damn, there's a lot of lore. There's a lot of shit going on.
I mean, the man's produced like 70 fucking novels.
Yeah, but
and a solid like 60% of that is like directly connected to the Dark Tower.
Yeah,
It's redunculous.
which is cool because there's a focal point. There's something that connects these things together, and that could work out.
And I'm hoping it'd be really cool if the Amazon series of the Dark Tower that's being produced right now kicked off a shared Stephen King universe. And honestly, if they did that, I would be perfectly fine with them remaking films that connect to the Dark Tower that have already been made.
Such as,
Fuck, you put me on the spot. No, I'm trying to.
well, I'm not.
Well,
I'm
because
legitimately curious.
The Stand is one of them, which they're already in the process of remaking, but that's over at CBS, so I doubt.
As a series?
Yeah, as a
Oh.
miniseries, I doubt fucking Amazon and CBS would be willing to play nice for that.
Yeah.
See, that's one of the biggest problems, and why I think we'll never actually see a Stephen King shared universe, because those rights are fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Scattered to the 4 corners of the earth.
Damn it.
But I'm super excited for the Dark Tower reboot, because it seems like they're going to be following the book series this time around, but doing it in chronological order,
Oh.
which is pretty cool. It's fine by me to see it in chronological order, because it's kind of weird in the Dark Tower books. You get 3 books of Roland on his quest and the building of his group of companions for said quest.
Yeah.
Then the 4th one is just this like 1,100 page book where Roland's like, we got some time to kill, let me tell you my story. And then it goes back to when he's like a 14-year-old boy, first learning about the Dark Tower and whatnot, and yeah, the events that made him the man he was.
Oh.
Which, I do love that book, but it's so weird because every time I read that book, inadvertently I'll get like halfway through it, get really bored, and put it down for like 6 months. And then I come back to it and I'm just like, I can't stop. It's weird. It's just I get so bored reading like the first half of that book that I have to put it down and go read something else.
Huh. Interesting.
And then yeah, the last 3 books or last 2 books in the series, no, 5, 6, 7, yeah, last 3, it's just full steam ahead to the Dark Tower, and it gets fucking nuts.
So, is there a point to the... I mean, are they trying to defend just Earth in general? Like, I guess I never...
So the Dark Tower is essentially described as the linchpin that holds all reality together.
Okay.
It's multiverse theory.
Right.
And at the center of every single multiverse is the Dark Tower.
Okay.
And the tower is held up by things called beams.
Yeah.
There's 12 guardians, 6 beams. And, yeah, so the overall overarching plot of the Dark Tower is Roland comes from a particular world that they never really come right out and say, because there's a lot of remnants that we would recognize, like old Sunoco stations and
Yeah.
Texaco gas tankers and shit like that. He comes from this time where, best I can gather from the books, is like his Earth is very similar to ours, but a lot farther ahead in time. So they had a civilization like ours, like nuclear weapons, things like that kind of technology.
Yeah.
And they basically bombed themselves back to the Stone Age. And then King Arthur ended up rising up because, like, eventually that society got back to, like, a medieval standpoint.
Yeah.
And Arthur Eld basically brought law and order and whatnot to the world, and it became a feudal system again. And Roland the Last Gunslinger is a direct descendant of him. And by his when and where, they've essentially gotten to where they have the same type of technology as, like, the Old West.
Yeah.
And the revolvers that he carries are reportedly melted down from the sword that Arthur Eld carried and had been turned into guns.
See, that's
Big,
badass.
like 45 caliber revolvers.
It makes me really sad I haven't actually read those books.
Oh,
because that's just cool.
Fantastic.
Like, damn. All right.
And yeah, it's super good. And like when I say it, like everything serves the beam, is the priest from Salem's Lot who gets marked by the vampires. And yeah, he basically loses to the head vampire in the book Salem's Lot. He ends up traveling through the multiverse and ending up in this little town where in the 5th book Roland and his band of companions meet him, and he ends up joining their quest.
Oh.
So he becomes a gunslinger as well.
Nice.
But the last couple books get really meta and weird because in 1999 Stephen King was taking a walk in rural Maine, and some asshole was not paying attention while he was driving, like swerved onto the shoulder of the road, hit Stephen King, almost killed him. Like, shattered his hip and his leg and shit like that. To the point where, even after they were like, yeah, he's not going to die, he came out and said, he's like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get back to writing because I can't even walk right now.
Yeah. Is that where that Family Guy joke came from?
Are you Stephen King? No, I'm Dean Koontz. Throws it in reverse.
No, that's where he fucking... Where the car actually hit him, he's like, I'm going to write a novel about this.
Yep.
Done.
Yeah, that's also
Oh, okay.
because of that incident. And so after he started writing again, he was like, I've been working on the Dark Tower since like the early 80s. I should probably finish these before I die.
Fair enough.
And
Looking at you, George R.
well, because it gets real weird because essentially there's a Keystone Earth, which is the Earth we live in and the Earth Stephen King exists in. And so at one point, they make a deal with this guy. They offer him protection, and he's like, okay, but you just need to do one thing for me. And basically they have to hide a bunch of his, like, he owns a bookstore and he's a hardcore collector. So they have to stash a bunch of first editions that he has in his possession, and one of them happens to be Salem's Lot. And so there's a great couple chapters where Father Callahan from Salem's Lot sees the book and he's like, just going through this like crisis of like, I'm a real person, what the fuck is this shit? It's like, I am not a fictitious character, god damn it. And then Stephen King even like wrote himself into the last couple books.
Yeah.
It gets nuts.
Fuck it. I'm
I
okay
mean,
with that.
We're talking about a man who's the greatest selling living author ever, and also what might be a sentient bag of cocaine in disguise.
You know? Just up and grew legs one day, and there he is.
He's like the cocaine version of Bono from South Park.
Exactly. I'm not number 2.
I'm not number 2. Whoa, we went off on a hell of a tangent.
Well,
for that
you know,
one.
shared universes. Not everybody can do them right like Marvel, man.
Yep, and then Stephen King. The reason why I like Stephen King's so much is because it's kind of like he's shooting from the hip with it.
Yeah.
Like, after a while, he's just like, fuck it, everything's connected. And so he starts working it into his newer novels, and then, like, kind of retconning some of the older novels to make them fit in there as well.
Yeah.
So, and it works. Like,
That's
there's
fair.
2 different ways you can do it. No, Stephen King's the only one I've seen who can pull off the, just like that real loose and fast, you know, okay, now this is part of the shared universe, whereas Marvel was super methodical in the way they did it. They're like, we have a plan. We will execute the plan, even if Disney purchase us.
And make it less cool plan, but hey, still cool plan.
Tone it down a little bit, but fuck them.
Fuck them. That would be cool to get a darker Marvel movie. Like, in the MCU. I hope the Black Widow movie is pretty, like...
Dark.
Yeah. Like...
And I hope they don't try and PG-13 up Deadpool.
Well, they're gonna, but maybe just add bleeps or something. I don't know what's gonna happen. Well, okay, no. I've heard they're gonna keep Deadpool solo movies
R-rated,
yeah.
and just tone him down for when he shows up in other films.
which is inevitable because you got to get that money, no. Even though Disney is,
and Ryan Reynolds is down to ride that train till the wheels fall off.
that's fair. I mean, he is Deadpool.
I just want to
at this
see him
point.
like show up randomly throughout the movies, where like stops the film, starts talking to the audience, like serves no purpose for the story, just like decide to show up and fuck with you guys.
right,
Bye.
right. That would be awesome.
And I guess speaking, since we're on the topic of shared universes, The Mandalorian.
Yes.
I'm only halfway through the second episode, but I gotta say, I think Jon Favreau is the greatest thing to happen to pop culture from a creative standpoint, because he created The Mandalorian, and it's my favorite thing from Star Wars since the original trilogy.
Yeah.
He got the Marvel universe kicked off.
He did.
With the first couple Iron Mans.
So tell me what the happened with The Lion King, John. And I love Favreau, don't get me wrong, but I recently watched that and I could barely get through it.
It's bad.
Yeah, because it just felt like they got all these people together and just read the original script with
Exactly.
no heart.
My problem is in the animation. Like, I get it. You wanted to do photorealism and see if you could make a good movie out of it.
Yeah.
There's a disconnect from the voice performance when you don't have an animated face to go along with it. Because the voice acting's good in it, other than James Earl Jones, who sounds like he was about to die in the recording studio, which that's not on him.
It's
like,
not.
You recast the whole fucking movie, like...
Yeah.
Get a new Mufasa, and that was one of the things about Favreau that kind of bugged me. In reality, he was like, we wanted Mufasa to sound like he'd been ruling for a long time and blah blah blah. It's like, but the whole point of Mufasa is that he was killed in his prime.
Right.
Like, that's a integral story element. Also, if he's that fucking old, he's well past his cub bearing years, so Simba shouldn't even exist.
Right.
Did you see the article that Elton John commented on the movie?
Oh yeah, how he thought the
Very
music wasn't
disappointed
as
with the
good.
music. Well, of course, it sounded not as good.
No,
as
not even close.
And when your ear has heard something for 20 years,
Right.
and then he hears this new recreation of it, it's not nowhere near as good. It's like, why am I even sitting through this?
Uh-huh.
It did look beautiful.
It did look
looked
good.
amazing.
But at the same time, Elton John still had to sign off for them to use the music he wrote anyways.
Well, but the new shit they added, Beyonce's new song was bullshit. I didn't think that was anything special. And then the making "Be Prepared," that spoken word thing was weird.
And
That was weird.
Can
It's
you
like,
feel
just give
the
us
love
the Nazi
tonight?
symbolism that we have always had.
Because that shit's scary.
Yeah, it was
Nazis
great.
are scary.
The
That's what
original-
makes that
the-
scene fucking tense.
Yeah.
And they still do that on Broadway too. The music's all fucking great in the musical.
I haven't seen the Broadway one.
It's great.
And I just don't understand why you wouldn't want to bring Elton John in to help you with the music for that.
Oh, yeah. But
cash. It's a cash grab. That's all it was, and it made all the money.
I wonder if like that was a part of negotiations when Favreau was working with Disney. Like, we'll let you do The Mandalorian, but you got to do this Lion King
That
since
very
Jungle
well-
Book was successful.
and I really did like the Jungle Book because
That's a hell of a lot better than Lion King, in my
Well,
opinion.
that's
I don't
what-
even
But also,
really
the
like.
Jungle Book is old enough to remake. Lion
That's
King
true, too. Yeah.
is barely old enough to drink.
Right,
Right.
This is very true.
yeah.
Shame on Disney. Shame.
And that's what I don't get because the animals in the Jungle Book still looked real, but they also looked cartoony enough to
That's because
convey
they
emotion
didn't.
and stuff.
They didn't have the 100% photorealism in the face.
Right.
Like they still animated the faces
Which is
a little bit.
what made that infinitely better. Like it's still, it looked realistic, but you still could see.
Yeah, but I mean,
like-
if they can manage to pull it off with Planet of the Apes in the
there's that
reboots
too,
with
yeah.
like Caesar and stuff like that, I get that they spoke more sign language and
Because Andy Serkis was too busy doing Mowgli, which was not a good movie.
God bless him, he tried.
Yeah.
And it was his directorial debut. So
And now he's doing Venom 2.
is he really?
Andy Serkis is the director for Venom 2, yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
yeah. I'm
that
pretty
makes me
stoked.
super happy.
Yeah. And he just got cast as Alfred in the Batman. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he'll make a good Alfred.
I am ecstatic. I fucking love Andy Serkis.
I wonder if he's going to slim down for that, though, because he was pretty buff in Black Panther from what I remember.
Oh, yeah.
That's not connected to.
Well,
Todd
no, it's
Phillips
just
joke,
that
right?
I don't like that whole, like, Alfred from Gotham and stuff like that, where they're like, Alfred's a big badass who.
Wasn't he really ex-military though?
I think that might have been added in like the 70s or 80s or something like that. But in like
I
the
like
most,
that aspect though. This guy who could literally kill you, and maybe Batman himself, but he's like, no, I'm the butler.
I
Watch
don't
your
know.
seat, sir.
I don't know. Maybe
No,
it's maybe I just dislike it because I still have such a bad taste in my mouth from Justice League.
Oh, Jeremy Irons?
Yeah.
You didn't like him?
Well, I like Jeremy Irons.
Oh.
It's just like that whole movie overall kind of killed everything for me.
Oh, well, yeah. Shit on everything DC stands for. But hey.
I am super excited about this new Batman movie.
Me too.
That they said they're going to focus more on the aspect of him being the world's greatest detective.
Which is yet to be filmed. I think only the Arkham games have done that right.
Batman 66 in a campy way.
Well, I mean, the newest movies.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Christian
Ever
Bale
since-
has like one scene where he's like tracking a bullet or something, which was all right. Or no, it's when he's shooting something, like shooting brick. Like he has his mild detective moments, but other than that, it's just Batman being Batman.
Batman punching people.
I'm broody, okay? We're brooding, whatever.
This is how I deduce things with punching.
With my fist.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
But no, this movie, and after, especially, see, this is why I love these podcasts, because we just off the fucking rail. But this is why I'm excited for the Batman, because after seeing The Lighthouse,
Oh, I'm on board for Robert
Pattinson,
Pattinson.
oh goodness, I'm excited.
That man has redeemed his entire career. Just like it washes the sin of Twilight away. How good that Lighthouse movie
And
is.
that, you know, that's such a bummer that those movies come with such a stigma, because yeah, they were ass, but I actually like Kristen Stewart too. She's pretty good. And I heard she's the sole reason this new Charlie's Angels movie is good, because she carries the whole thing. Have you seen her on SNL? She's actually pretty funny. She's pretty talented. I'm just saying. What? What?
I have no words.
What do you want from me?
You just like her because she's pretty and her mouth is constantly hanging open like she's confused.
Maybe that's because I relate to that. I don't know. But
It's true. You do have that 100-yard stare
I do.
constantly.
even still, I mean, she won't even be in the same league as Pattinson. Sorry, Kristen, if you're listening. But, yeah, no, those movies,
We're booty
you'd
hole.
think would ruin everyone's career involved. Like Michael Sheen. How the fuck did they get him in
Who the
those
fuck
movies?
is Michael Sheen?
He played, he was in Frost v. Nixon. He was Frost, and then he was, he's a highly good British actor. He was, Lucian in the Underworld movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about now.
But he's been in a lot of other stuff. Which is sad, but
Yeah, it's weird that all those people went on to be so sick. Oh, that's because people actually liked those
Anna
movies.
Kendrick, she was in those movies. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how. Well, I guess it's because they were successful. Why everybody still has careers?
Maybe.
Because I mean, I guess we're obviously not the right demographic for those movies. Because
Not
we're
even
not
back then.
14-year-old
Yeah.
girls.
Shared universe, Underworld and Twilight. Let's do this. That would be legit.
Add Blade in there, and then
Add
you got
Blade,
a deal.
And then Hellboy for shits and gigs, or Spawn if you're feeling froggy.
I like this. I like where this is going.
Yes.
A hodgepodge.
A hodgepodge. Speaking of, before we close out, that's what the world needs more to of, I think.
Spawn?
Versus movies.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, there's
Isn't-
potential everywhere. Like even Deathstroke versus Deadpool or something, like, you know? But
I mean, I'm a ride or die Freddy vs. Jason fan, and I hate how much hate that movie gets.
it does get a lot of hate. But it's fun. The only part I didn't like was just the ending. I thought that was shoehorned in there.
What, him walking out of the lake with Freddy's head?
Yeah. And the fact that what's-her-name killed Freddy, spoilers. I just wanted it to be like, those two, it's like, dude, yeah, they
I
did
wish
kick the
we
shit
could
out
have
of each
gotten the
other.
original ending that they had written.
Oh, with
where the
Satan
hand
coming up?
goes,
Yes.
dragging him down to hell,
That would have been legit. That would have been cool.
and seeing them fight in hell, and then Pinhead shows up.
Yes. Was that part of the original script?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was supposed to
sick.
like show up while they're fighting and be like, gentlemen, what seems to be the problem? And then end.
Yes.
I know. It's like, that's just like
Yeah.
instant full mass direction.
Fucking A.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think if they could convince Bruce Campbell to do it, he should lead a whole series of versus movies. Like, have him fight Freddy and Jason. Have him fight the Cenobites. Have fucking Ash fucking fight the Marvel Zombies. Make that movie. Make it a one-off movie.
Yes.
Ash versus Marvel Zombies. That'd be fucking great.
Yes. Disney wouldn't have the balls.
They really wouldn't.
They would not have the cojones.
They should hire us. We have the cojones. And
We'll
the
do
gumption.
it. And the gumption.
God damn it. Well, we've rambled for a solid 45 minutes. Should we
It's to be expected.
wrap it up then?
We can wrap it up.
All right. If you sat through this whole thing, please like and subscribe and watch our other videos because, well, we're starving. I already ate through my shoes.
I think you used that joke already.
Well, I said we're about to eat our shoes last time. It's an update.
Oh, you were doing a continuity thing, and I
Yeah.
fucked it up. Sorry.
It's okay. No, but seriously, I've had to eat my shoes. It's been a very depressing week. So, yeah, like, subscribe, check out our gaming channel, all that fun shit, and we'll see you for the next one.
See ya.
Hey!